On one night in a muddy trench in France, a single American soldier fought off an entire German raiding party. Alone, with a knife. They called him the real-life Black Panther, and America spent the next 100 years trying to forget his name. This is a real photograph from a real newspaper. 1918. Look at the man and read what they wrote about him. Single-handed, he routed 36 of the enemy. When his ammunition ran out, he used a bolo knife. The first man in his regiment to win the French War Cross. His name was Henry Johnson. He should be one of the most famous soldiers in all of American history. Almost nobody knows his name, and this is exactly why. 1917, Harlem, New York. A regiment of black men volunteer to fight for a country that treats them as less than human. The 369th Infantry. America did not even want them to fight. They were handed old rifles, denied real training, and shipped overseas, hoping they would simply vanish. So the U.S. Army gave them away. They handed their black soldiers to the French. And the French, desperate for men, put rifles in their hands and sent them straight to the front. And that is where the world learned what these men were truly made of. The Germans faced them in battle and gave them a name, the Hellfighters. The 369th spent 191 days in the front-line trenches, longer than any other American unit in the entire war. They never lost a foot of ground and never had a single man captured. And on the night of May the 15th, 1918, a soldier named Henry Johnson stood watch at a lonely forward outpost, with just one other man beside him, Needham Roberts. In the dark, a German raiding party crept through the barbed wire. Some say 12 men, some say 24, coming to kill them both or drag them back as prisoners. Henry did not run. He threw every grenade he had into the dark. He fired his rifle at the shadows until every last bullet was gone. Then his rifle jammed. Roberts went down, badly wounded, and the Germans closed in, reaching to carry him off. So Henry swung his empty rifle like a club and broke it over their heads. And when the rifle shattered in his hands, he drew the only weapon he had left, an army bolo knife. And in the dark, one wounded man went to work. He fought like something the Germans had never seen before, slashing, stabbing, refusing to fall even as they shot him and cut him again and again and again. They were trying to capture his brother in arms. And Henry Johnson threw his own body between Needham Roberts and the enemy, and he would not move. And that raiding party, some of the most feared soldiers in the world, broke and ran, convinced they had stumbled into an entire company of men. It was one man, bleeding from 21 separate wounds, still standing in the smoke at dawn. France could not believe it. They gave him their highest honor for bravery, the Croix de Guerre with the Golden Palm. Henry Johnson was the first American of any color to earn it in the whole war. France called him a hero. The newspapers called him Black Death. And a former president called him one of the 5 bravest Americans to ever wear the uniform. And then he came home to America, and America gave him nothing. No medal, no Purple Heart. Not even the small pension a wounded soldier was owed. Because in his own country, a black man was not allowed to be a hero. He came home too broken in body to work. He had dared to tell the truth about how black soldiers were treated. And for that truth, his own army turned its back on him completely. Henry Johnson died in 1929. Poor, forgotten, at just 36 years old, buried without his country ever once saying thank you. The bravest man on that entire battlefield, erased, as if the blood he left in that French trench had never been spilled at all. But some names refused to stay buried. It took decades. It took people who simply would not let this man be forgotten. The Purple Heart he had earned in his own blood, finally awarded in 1996, nearly 80 years too late. And in 2015, inside the White House, the President of the United States finally spoke his name. and gave Henry Johnson the Medal of Honor, the highest award this nation can give. 97 years after he stood alone in the dark and refused to fall, they finally admitted what he had been all along. A hero, his name was Henry Johnson, the real Black Panther. Say his name, and do not ever let them make you forget it again.